I would rather see the display because it's easy for me to say, it gives me a good flashpoint in regards to this is what's going on in my county.
Stick around and we'll get right to it. Hey, welcome back guys. Jason, KM4ACK. Running this YouTube channel gives me some unique opportunities. And one of those opportunities is I get invited to a lot of different emergency exercise drills across the state of Tennessee. And I got to attend one of those this past weekend. And I was shocked by what I saw when I got there. Now, if you've been around the channel for any length of time whatsoever, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of APRS. And I was really shocked to see that this entire drill was almost completely run using APRS messages and APRS objects. And I just found that really cool. But what was more interesting was interacting with the EOC and hearing the assistant EOC's input as to what he wanted to see on his display. Speaking of the displays, those were really cool. It was a huge smart display, and once the information was put on that display, he could literally tap on the display just like it was a great big touchscreen to be able to interact with it. So that was kind of cool too, seeing that technology in the EOC. But these guys did an absolutely phenomenal job, but I wanted you to hear it firsthand from an assistant EOC director as to exactly what information is critical to them and how we as hams can help them should we be called on during a disaster.
So with a disaster and everybody providing their inputs, it lets me get a good overview of what's going on in the county. And by providing those inputs of where we have issues, whether it's a bridge might be out on the interstate or where a pod or some kind of point of distribution or even a point of dispensation might be, it lets me know what's going on in the county to where I can even bring it up, and it'll usually tell me what the problem is in that particular area. But with this map, by providing those different items of what's wrong, it tells me that the southern half of my county is the most affected, to where I need to provide the majority of my resources and efforts to the south end of the county, as opposed to looking at the northern end. And by doing that, I'm not wasting our time and possibly wasting resources by sending folks to the northern end where there's nothing going on.
Now let me back up and explain exactly what's going on up to this point. The hams in this county have a very good working relationship with their EOC, and they went to the EOC director and said, how can we make your life better if you lose your primary infrastructure? And all of this is kind of based around Hurricane Helene and the damage that it did, and the aftermath of that, and how the EOCs in that area dealt with those problems, and they identified a lot of shortcomings. Well, the hams worked with the EOC to figure out that if they could turn those smart displays back on and provide them good information on those screens, that would be the most helpful thing. You'll continue to hear that throughout this interview. So for this exercise, the hams were using pretty much strictly APRS as the official record. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, even if a voice call came in over the radio into the net, that information would be entered into APRS as a message. If it was a report, say, of a bridge out or a distribution facility being set up or a shelter being opened, well, then they turned those into objects. And by doing this, it does a couple of things. A, it's now all captured in a digital format. It's going out over RF, and it's being ingested into the internet with APRS-IS. So not only can anyone local see it, but anyone worldwide could see it if they were outside of the impacted area and following along on APRS. So it gives a lot of good information, and it gives a good log. In addition to that, it gives them the ability to take that information that's captured digitally at this point and put that on the smart displays, which is what the EOC says is most important to them. So by just dropping those objects on the map, then he can interact with the map himself, click on it, and if there was something, some sort of information put in the comment section, then he would be able to see that. Now, a prime example of what kind of information you would put in the comment section is maybe for a shelter that they've got 25 beds available and they've got plenty of water and food, but no commercial power. If it was, say, a report of a bridge out, you could put in the comment where that information came from. Did you hear that over amateur radio? Were you able to pick that up maybe over GMRS? You could put somebody's call sign in there that was reporting it. Whatever data you think is critical to capture, or whatever they ask for to be captured in that comment section, can easily be displayed on this map. So as the reports have come in, then the hams have just dropped these APRS objects onto your display that's here in the EOC.
Correct.
Okay, and this is an interactive display?
Correct. To where we can look at, you know, down here, it would be able to tell us what exactly is going on at these particular locations. It's all dependent upon what the ACS member puts in as what's going on, whether it's there's trees down, or it's road flooding, or a bridge is out, something that we need to know about so that we can provide either alternate routing or resources to that area, such as if electrical lines are down, we can send utility crews out to secure the power, and as well as get the repair crews in.
They must be changing the monitor in the back. So you find this map more important or equally important to raw incoming and outgoing messages? Which would you rather see?
I would rather see the display, because it's easy for me to say, it gives me a good flashpoint in regards to this is what's going on in my county, especially in regards to when the mayor comes in, he or she wants to know what's going on, how's my county being affected by this particular event. I can have the display up to say, here's where all our problems are being reported, and it gives them a good snapshot of what communities are being affected, to where when he calls out to the state as well as federal resources, actually the state will call to federal, we have a good idea of where we need to deploy those folks to assist.
So in your professional opinion, do you think the ham should be taking all of that information, maybe they gather over voice, or maybe it's a WinLink message or whatever, and they should be moving that to a map display for you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because it, like I said, it provides me a very quick snapshot of what exactly is going on, to where with the fact that it's an interactive map, I can click on it and say, this is what is particularly going on in that area, whether it's flooding, trees, utilities, whatever the issue may be.
That's awesome to know, because I've been preaching maps for about 2 years now. Okay. And it's really good to hear from, a professional that's actually employed to do this disaster management.
Gotcha.
And know exactly what you need and what you find most critical.
Yep. No, maps are key, because it gives me that quick snapshot to say, this is where our problems are, where our issues are at, and it lets me focus on those particular areas instead of wondering what's going on up here where nothing's being reported.
And before we even turn the camera on me, the first thing you said was, I can look at this map from across the room and see that all of my problems are on the south side of the county.
Correct.
So that's really good feedback for ham radio operators to know what's most important to you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nope, thank you.